Hello and welcome to a session of Shitty Ensigns. So Shitty Ensigns is a game that was recommended to me on itch.io in the early days when I was first saying, what are the cool games that are on itch right now? And there were a ton of them, a lot of great ones. And it's how I found Jamie's games. It's how I found a bunch of other ones, and I wanted to try this one because I kind of like a goofy little game. So we are playing this. If you're watching this, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet gaming community is an online gaming community. We have coming up in a couple weeks from now on the weekend an open online gaming event. I was recording this on the 2nd, and that's happening on the 16th through 19th. If you go to gauntlet-rpg.com, you should be able to find information on that. It's free. You can sign up. We've got a calendar app for it, and we've got actually like a couple dozen plus games right now of very different kinds. So I'm really excited. The community members wanted to do this, and they've pushed and put those games up there. So Shitty Ensigns, the concept is that there are officers and true heroes on board these starships. But then there are ensigns, and then there are ensigns that are not just ensigns, they're bad. Somehow they've made it through Starfleet, somehow. And here they are on this ship. And you're not very good at it. We expect that your characters will wash out within a few months, but this is that span of time before you get fired from your job. So our approach here is very much we're doing character creation and then kind of some setup for it. And then we're going to give you a situation and we're going to see what happens. Our game rules work in kind of inverted PBTA. So you want to roll low and your stats will reflect that. There's a thing in the rules that I'm going to mention when we get to character creation because I think the numbers are wrong on it, but we'll get that fixed. But essentially, if you roll a 6 or less, things go great. If you roll a 7 to 9, you're pretty bad. And if you roll a 10 plus, things are terrible. So it's like taking damage in another game. So that's the basics of it. The tone is goofy, not necessarily gonzo. I'm going to play it as straight as I can. As presenting the starship, and I will let you wreak the damage that you will within that. Given that's important, we'll kind of keep an eye on that. I think this is humorous, but not cartoony necessarily. Does that seem like a good way to read that? And that'll shift in play, but I want us to have a sense of that. Jim, does that fit with your conception of things? I'm going to check in with everybody right now on this.
Yeah, like kind of like the word that keeps popping into my head is absurdist.
Okay.
Because there's so much going on like in the entire Trek universe, like that if you were to stop the action and really think about what was happening, it would be like entirely ridiculous and absurd.
Absolutely.
And the fact that everybody just kind of charges through it is pretty cool. And the other thing that I can't get out of my head is they did that episode of Next Generation that was like Lower Decks.
I just watched that today.
Yeah. So, and like, this is like that, but incompetent is kind of what I'm imagining. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah.
But they're trying. Well, some people are trying. Some people aren't.
Yeah.
But we'll see that.
Jamie,
and
and the other things that it's a commentary on, like the sort of kind of like devoted to meritocracy and making sure everybody gets as many chances as possible to prove themselves because we believe in everybody. And like, this is like the flip side to that. It's like the dark side of that is, I feel like, what's going on with this.
I think that's a good way to read it. Jamie, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm going into this thinking of all You know, every time they post those Voyager with no context clips videos, and they just put together the weirdest like moments, that's what I have in my head, and that's what I'm going for.
That seems perfect. Robert, you've just been rewatching Star Trek, right?
I had, well, yeah, I watched all of Picard, and then I started
it's so
rewatching just random. Well, all of it. They just put up like every Star Trek series on Netflix, and I think they're all streaming on CBS also. So, like, I'm working from home. I just throw it up on another monitor, and it's just background noise.
Oh, absolutely. I started watching. It kind of popped in the middle of DS9, which I love, but it's also, I think, even more uneven than Next Generation.
Yes.
And at some point,
But
I'm
it
going
has
to
a
have
strong beginning.
Yeah, it has some great stuff and some really cool things. But wow. And then at some point, I need to try Voyager because I've only seen
Voyager.
like the first three
Voyager
episodes.
is really good, but it really is rocky.
Yeah, I mean, like if what you want is uneven Star Trek, Voyager is
it.
right in your wheelhouse.
But then when it hits, it is so good.
Oh yeah. No, it is a
But
roller coaster ride.
Yes, because I'm thinking of the crocodile episode. Anyway, I won't say anything else.
Okay, I could tell. All I remember is that when the first episode had Amelia Earhart in it, I was like, "Really? This is where we're going?" But Stephen, what's your feelings about Star Trek and about what we're doing here?
So I like Star Trek. I haven't consumed a lot of the newer Star Trek stuff, but as far as so I think this is Goofy is fine. I'm not sure exactly which direction it'll head in. Like, is it going to be like the cartoon? Is it going to be goofy fun like that, or is it going to be more like the Barkley episodes?
We will play to find out.
Yes.
I remember growing up, that Star Trek cartoon was on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in reruns, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so uneven. Came out of Chicago, and if you caught an episode, it was so good.
Yeah, I actually just bought all the DVDs of that. I really want to go through and watch it.
It's wild. There's some episodes there's like a couple that are written by Harlan Ellison that are really solid and good, and there's some episodes that you're like, okay. There's a lot of episodes that you go, well, you had the ability to animate and do cartoons and stuff like that, but you didn't use it. You just did a regular episode, and that's what you did. Anyway, so we all share a certain affection for this genre. So that's concept, approach, or kind of tone, safety. So we, even though this is a goofy light game, we're still using safety tools to play responsibly here. In our character keeper, we have lines and veils that are on a tab. Line being things that we definitely don't want to see in play, and veils being things we want to fade to black on. If you like, don't feel, mark the things that you feel about those. Put those on that, and we'll before we get to playing, we'll talk about what those are. On top of that, to sort of support that, because that's going to set some baselines for us, some assumptions about our the core thing that we're doing. In addition, of course, we have the X card. The X card is used moment to moment. If there's an issue that pops up that hasn't fit within that, or somebody's kind of gone off tone, or if we're hitting on some of those matters, X card, we will step back away from that. We won't question those decisions. Those choices are made, and we will respect those. So those are the two big things that are on there. Of course, the last one being that this is a sort of open door. So if you need to step away, you're absolutely free to step away if you need to at any point. So all of those things are out there, and I encourage you to use them as you need to. So let's talk about this. You are on the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is a ship of a parallel class to the Enterprise. Some other people know what that class is. In fact, I just looked it up and then I forgot it before I got here. But a big vessel that does scientific, defensive missions, but also has a civilian populace on board the ship. It's large, and there's lots of crews. So there's lots of ways to hide and keep your head down.
It's a Galaxy class.
It's a Galaxy
Starship.
class. It's Galaxy class. Thank you, Jim. We have on the sheet a tab for character creation. There are some very basic steps for character creation here. You're going to assign your stats, +1, 0, -1, -1, and -2. Worse is better. And those stats are clumsy, weak, rude, cowardly, and dumb. And I've got the descriptors in there for that. So you're going to do that. You'll set your hit points. Your hit points are equal to 4 minus your weak. And your armor class, I think, starts, let's see. Armor class determines how many wounds you ignore when you get hit. If you get hit for 2 wounds, you have AC of 1. You have to take 1 wound. Your AC is 0 if you have a clumsy score of 0 or higher. 1 if you have a clumsy score of -1 or -2. And then you choose your department. And we've got in our drop downs there, the departments are ops, comm, and scientific. And then there are 4 subdivisions in each of those. When you're doing something within your specific division, you do it a little bit better, just a hair better. Jim, when I came into this sheet, I saw that you had already given yourself a name.
I had, but
chosen.
But here's the thing that I'm super curious about, which
absolutely.
is
the
numbers that it lists on the first page are different than the numbers that it lists on the second page.
Okay.
So under characters,
should
under our stats, it says -1, 0, +1, +1, +2.
Oh, see, that is me because of the copy and paste from a previous thing. It is, in fact, -1, 0, +1, +1, +2. So that is correct. And the thing on the character creation thing is entirely wrong.
Our stats are way better on the second page. I was dubious when I read that. I was like,
yes.
I don't actually suck all that hard.
Yeah,
so,
I will change that.
But then I read the first page, so yeah.
So I giveth and I taketh away here.
Excellent.
So
cool. That's good.
Thank you.
Yes, I was so jazzed for this that I just went ahead and made myself a character.
So tell us generally about. So you want to do ops security?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you are familiar with the Orions, they're the green-skinned race, right? With the like pheromone-producing dancing slave women, and they're they're basically their defining cultural trait is that their entire culture is organized crime, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever, that's they've got this whole load of like galactic criminal empire and stuff like that, and nobody much likes them, but whatever, they serve a useful role in that ecosystem. They trade to people and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I am an Orion male who has joined Starfleet, probably because I almost certainly have some kind of a orphan adopted by Federation parents thing going on or something like that, but so I am a big, beefy, bald, big green dude. And because our kind of reputation precedes us, everyone expects that I'm going to be like I am big and beefy. So everyone sort of expects me to be like a big, like a badass leg breaker. Mm-hmm. And I really just have no interest in that, but it's just kind of I just sort of got pushed into this as the job that I was doing. And
you said you were adopted, probably raised by another group. Were you raised by Vulcans, by humans, by Klingons? Who were you raised by?
I want to say that it's humans, absolutely human couple, and it's some, my mom is a botanist and my dad is a colony administrator or something like that. you know, no particular hardship or anything like that, but like they just had their hearts set on me being like one of the first Orion members of Starfleet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of breaking that, you know, whatever, like breaking barriers all over the place. We're all, you know, and Starfleet wants to recruit, you know, diverse crews and all this kind of stuff and everything, you know, and it sounded like a good gig. But like, and doing security on the space station was awesome. Whatever, like the, you know, the scientific installation, because basically it meant like I walked around, you know, I did a retinal scan once an hour at the different stations. You know, I made sure that like none of the, you know, like the misters were malfunctioning or anything like that. But then I got to Starfleet Academy and I started doing security stuff, and there's people shooting at you. And like Klingons with the things, the metal, the spikes. And that's insane. But I was there, and my mom wanted this for me so badly that I really couldn't. So anyways, so I am Garai, but all the officers call me Gary.
Gary.
And I've never corrected them because I don't want to make waves, you know.
Excellent.
Like this posting was tough enough to get in the first place.
And I love that your worst stat is cowardly. I think that's great. I'm looking forward to that.
Crazy.
Let's come to Stephen. Stephen, tell us what your conception is for your character.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of building this as it goes, but
Yeah.
I'm playing Wet Taham, also known as Wet. Okay, I think that's what he goes by. Wet is actually his twin brother's name. Wet is a Trill, and he is unjoined, but his brother is joined, which gives him all the medical knowledge, but Wet doesn't have any of that. So he's just kind of fumbling along trying to figure this out. So
your brother was delayed, and you've taken his place here.
Yeah.
And what would have made your brother? What would have held him back that he would have been willing to have this happen? What do you think occurred there?
So I think the Trill are a secretive race, and they don't tell you a lot about what's going on physiologically. So I think he had some kind of medical emergency where he needed to be at home. And he said, that's okay. You can just go take my place. We'll swap places at some point. So I'm hoping to just make it long enough so he comes and relieves me.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that very much. Did you ever want to be joined? Because there's a whole process for going through that whole joining. A lot of the Trill don't take that on. Did you wash out of that, or did you not even try?
Oh, I think I tried whenever I was younger. My brother and I talked about it. We were like all excited, but then whenever I saw how hard it was, I was like, no, I think I'm done. You know, he loved it, and he got to be really good, but I was like, I'm gonna go back here and chill.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. And then Robert, tell us about what you're thinking.
Yeah, so I'm playing a character named Baxter Stubbs. He's a human. Department. So, okay, under department, we've got comm navigator and comm helmsman. What is the difference between those two?
So helmsman is the one who actually is doing the evasive maneuvers and that kind of thing, and navigators plotting the courses and laying in the course and that kind of thing. They're very similar. They sit next to each other.
That's why I got confused, because I'm like, wait, I'm like picturing in my head, like, which is the one that sits right there? So, okay, I think helmsman is the one I wanted. Okay, so yeah, I'm playing Baxter Stubbs, the helmsman.
Chekhov, navigator. Sulu, helmsman.
Okay, perfect.
I wouldn't have come.
So yeah, I'm playing as Baxter Stubbs. He is a human. He is the helmsman. I think he kind of entered Starfleet just because he didn't have anything else going on, and I think he's got like a cousin who is like fairly decently high ranked in Starfleet. Like, not, he's definitely not a captain or anything, or even the head of a department, but high enough that that sort of helps you get assignments. If it's not about what you know, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got family in Starfleet, and family has always been in Starfleet. And so yeah, his cousin kind of got him this position. And
does he think he's going to wash out, or does he think he's going to make it?
He thinks he's going to make it. I think he wants to make it just because he doesn't really have anything else going on at all. And so it's really this, or I don't know, like going back home and having to tell mom and dad that I washed out of Starfleet. Like, I would rather die in an exploding spaceship than have to go back and do that.
To admit your failure. That seems reasonable. Excellent. Then let's come to Jamie. Jamie, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so I am Shivov. I honestly can't pronounce the last name. Giselle, something like that.
It works.
It works. And I'm an Andorian. So I have to point out that I found this amazing image of Spike from Buffy as an Andorian, and I had to use it.
So you're a hot Andorian.
Yes, but that's not going to help me. I just
Right.
happen to be hot, but that's about it. So I think I spend a lot of time just like standing around being really hot and quiet, but I'm also very dumb. And so it's to my detriment. And I am in communications because I thought being bad at communications would be very cathartic for me today. But it's also really fun. What else? I feel like Shivab comes from, as usual for the Andorians, a very proud military family. I really disappointed them when I joined Starfleet, even though things are better by this point. I still really disappointed my family. I think, they're the kind of family who could never really accept Starfleet. And
then he went into comms. You went into communications, not security or tactical or anything like that.
Yeah, not at all. So I really let them down. But I am one of 7 brothers, and all the other 6 have died very badly, embarrassingly, in battle. I'm thinking like Carmine from Gears of War, like that kind of situation.
Okay.
So my family is hoping that I will uphold the family honor and do the same. And we'll see. I also brought props for today. I'm really proud. I have
we have the full tricorder. Nice.
I'm so excited.
What you're going to do then, the last thing that you have to come up with here is assigning your relationships. And I've corrected the numbers in the character creation because they're kind of wrong in the book. What you're going to do is each of you is going to pick the character that you think you know the best, and you're going to write in a -2, which means that when you go to help them, interact with them, it's easier for you to do. You're going to assign the character you know the least. You give them a +1. And then all the other PCs are -1, so the third one. And then everybody else is 0. And there's a cat. Hello, kitty. So Jim, who do you think you know the best?
Oh man, I think probably Wet. Because like I suspect I'm getting hurt quite a bit.
Okay.
And so like he and I see each other when I go down there with he fixes my rotator cuff after hand-to-hand training, and my whatever batleth slashes from whenever I get banged up on an away mission, like I don't get to see, the chief medical officer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like if the captain gets hurt, she takes care of him.
Right.
But, like it's like us ensigns got to look out for each other. And I think Wet is the one that patches me up from whenever I get in my various scrapes. Does that work for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
that sounds good.
I will say this is asymmetrical, so you might consider that Wet the best, but Wet might not feel the same way. Who do you think you know the least?
Oh my God, totally Shy Bob.
That makes sense. The off-putting, or why is it that you don't connect as much with them?
I don't know that they're off-putting. Off-putting is not the word I would use to describe them.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, they're not going to talk to me, but Shy Bob, yeah.
And then so then you'll be at a -1 with Baxter then.
Yes.
And everybody else is a Zippo.
Ensign Himbo. That's
yes.
what we call him.
Yes. And I keep hearing it, and I don't know what it means. I feel like they're talking about someone else all the time. Why haven't I met them yet? Did they show up at orientation?
Wet. Who do you think you know the best?
So I think I know. Would it be okay, Jamie, if I said I know Shivab the best because Wet and you both went to the academy together?
Ooh, yeah, I like that idea.
This would be you went to the academy with my twin brother, right? Not that you went to the academy with me, but yeah, you came up to me and was like, "Let's be friendly." What? Okay, sure.
Yeah. Absolutely, that does sound like me. So
fantastic.
And Shibab is not too quick on the uptake, judging by their dumb score. So
I just look smart, which is very bad.
And who do you think you know the least?
I think I probably know Baxter the least. Baxter's like on the bridge, right? Because he's the helmsman. So I don't think I ever get to go up on the bridge. Yeah.
Okay. I like that, and that will leave Gary as your -1. Baxter, what about for you?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe maybe I know Garai the best, just because I feel like we probably have more of a chance to interact. And it's not that we like knew each other beforehand or anything, but I think I'm usually on the my job stuff is on the bridge. You probably for security reasons are maybe on the bridge every now and then.
Like every now and then there'll be an episode where just a couple of security guards are just standing next to the turbo lift for whatever reason, or there's been a intruder alert or something like that. Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah, and I think
I have seen the bridge, so yes.
And I think Baxter probably thinks of himself as a bit more important than most other people because he is on the bridge, so he would be more. He definitely knows Garai the best because we're both bridge people.
Excellent. And then who do you know the least?
The least, I think. I think probably Wet. I don't think I get a chance to interact with him much. And beyond that, as far as I'm concerned, the less that I need to be around medics, the better off I am.
Okay. I think that is fair. Shivab, who do you know the best?
Yeah, I actually think, how do you feel about this, Jim? I actually think I I know Garai the best because I've been watching you from afar, but I'm too shy to actually approach you.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I think that's fantastic.
And I was gonna say, so let me just write that down.
Like, and there's also that thing where like security is supposed to be stone-faced, right? Like you're supposed to like not say stuff to people and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have like I talk to my daily logs and say I saw Garai today.
Yeah,
They had their coffee.
security guards don't even like acknowledge people's existence, but maybe now and then my eyes will like actually dart to look at you, which like from a security officer is, you know, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
who do you know the least?
I think so I think I actually have a spot on the bridge, but I keep forgetting to go there. So I think the person I know the least is Baxter. Like I know we're supposed to like work together somehow. I'm supposed to help on the bridge. Someone else keeps going to my station instead.
But the other thing is, if your communications, you guys are sitting back to back, right?
Yeah,
Because you're
exactly.
looking at your comm screen and he's looking at the view screen, and you're never actually looking at each other, even though you're.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, maybe it's one of those like Monty Python things. Every time we turn over, the other one turns around.
Oh yeah. I don't know who that helmsman is. I like that. I like that. So you are on the Gauntlet. We're going to get started here in just a second. Before we get started, I want to briefly take a moment to check our lines and veils. So our lines are harm to children, sexual assault, suicide, torture, mind control. And then our veils are bullying, graphic gore, harm to animals, slavery, violence against children. So those are the ones that are out there as our lines and veils for play. You are on the Gauntlet. This is not exactly the flagship of the Federation, but it is an important ship that has multiple purposes. And Captain Dobslaw is a human, and Dobslaw is a longtime veteran who, how do I put this, just by dint of years, worked their way up to get this captaincy. They spent enough time, and they've heard that in Starfleet Command that they're like, well, we'll give him this command for a couple of years, and then he's going to have to retire. So then we'll give it to somebody, you know. But Captain Dobslaw is on the bridge sometimes. He's very liberal about handing a command over to whoever's, you know, on the bridge. You have the comm, that kind of thing. And he's a human, and he has an affectation for glasses, even though, you know, everybody has photo corrected things and all that. Right now, you are in the middle of a very important diplomatic mission. You are transporting a set of ambassadors that are going to a meeting, and even before this meeting, there is some negotiations and trade things that are going on this voyage here. There are Klingon ambassadors on board. There are Gorn ambassadors on board. Very rare, very unusual, and there are Andorian ambassadors on board. As well, there is the noted diplomat of the Tellarites, Gunther. And Gunther is a legendary, a man of peace among the Tellarites, a figure of calm and decorum amongst his people who are very much not that. So he's an honored guest here amongst the crew. And the voyage has been going on for a bit. You're traveling. There is a particular path that they're going on. There are a couple of stations where you're stopping to pick some people up along this. And this is supposed to be a milk run. This should be pretty easy. Though Klingons, Gorns, and Andorians on board, that might be, some might describe it as a powder keg. I don't know. So, Gary, who is your commander? Who is the chief of security? I'm going to ask each of you this question. We're going to come around and figure out who the actual, like actor that we get in the title credits is for your commander here.
Oh, it's it's gonna be like who plays T'Challa's but like bodyguard in Black Panther. It's the same actress that plays Michonne on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's our chief of security.
Okay.
Nice.
Human, strong, severe, forthright. What's their name?
Their name is something Uhura.
Okay.
Because they're actually like a granddaughter of Lieutenant Uhura from the original series Enterprise.
Absolutely. So Commander Uhura on there, chief of security. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, like legendary Starfleet family. Yeah.
Gary, you have been tasked to go and escort a set of the Klingon ambassadors down to 10 forward. They've asked for some recreation time, and you are there just to serve as a body, so that the Klingons feel at ease here. So you go to pick them up, and the Klingons are kind of talking to one another. They're very, very clearly like trying to, and one of them will turn to you and says, "You guard. What is your name?"
Garai, sir.
Garai. We've decided we do not wish to go to this 10 forward.
There is no other drinking establishment on the ship, sir. I don't know that we can. I can, if you'd like, I can speak to the commissary and I can try and arrange to have them. I know that they discussed having a stock of blood wine available for you, so perhaps I could...
No. Your replicants are fine. If we wish to drink, we can drink in our rooms. We wish to go to your holodeck. Take us to your holodeck now.
Beep, beep, beep.
So you will call you call your chief?
Commander Uhura, this is Ensign Garai.
Yes, Ensign Gary.
Yes, ma'am. Our the Klingon ambassador has requested the use of a holosuite, and I just wanted to clear that with you first.
No, take them to 10 forward as originally assigned. We're out.
All right.
What do you want to do, Gary?
So take a deep breath, and I look up at the ceiling, and I turn and I walk back into their quarters, and I say, Ambassador, it is with deep regret that I have to inform you that the holodecks are all being used right now. So let me take you to 10 forward, and as soon as one clears out, I will inform you that it is available.
Let's have you roll with rude.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. So rude is -1. That's actually my best stat. So yeah.
Who put the picture?
Oh, that was me.
That's great.
I was about to ask, in the roll for your party?
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
That's great.
It's so good. It's so good.
That is a 9. -1 is an 8.
An 8. So on a 7 to 9, you sort of half-ass it. You either barely succeed or there's some consequence or bad side effect as your crew members are forced to pick up your slack. What is it that you're able to get them there, but it is problematic, or what do you how do you think this works?
I think that consequences or bad side effects, man. Basically it's a, well, if there's nothing to do but drink, then we shall drink.
Yes.
And it's, I walk in with them expecting that I'm going to stand there. And one of them just does that thing where they just put their hand on my shoulder and slam me down into a seat and start
We will see the legendary stamina of the Orions now.
Exactly, yes. And I have to chug blood wine with them. So
Okay.
yeah.
So mark a point of bad luck.
Okay.
And you may also take the condition drunk.
Okay. And specifically, I'm going to take the condition blood drunk.
Blood drunk. I like that.
Because I feel like this is different. Like Klingon blood wine is not a regular. I'm going to have a very strange hangover tomorrow, I think.
Wet, you're down in one of the medical things. Now, of course, we have the standard big medical lab. The people who are sent there, stuff. But I imagine there are probably some secondary stations on the ship. And as an ensign, you're assigned to one of those. That's how you get to treat Gari's injuries and things like that. It is that kind of walk-in thing. You were there. It's getting a little boring, but how do you usually pass the time when nobody comes in? Are you studying hard?
I think I'm doing the equivalent of social media off in the corner. We see the picture of the medical bay, and there's always one guy in the back working at a terminal or something like that, and that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think whenever the camera zooms around, that's whenever I switch it from funny cat pictures over to medical display.
You got a couple of tabs open.
Yeah.
You were there, and we'll hear the whoosh, and you will see this figure come in, and it takes you a second to place it, but you will realize that it is a Tellarite.
Ah.
And it's dressed in kind of robes, a little bit unusual, and it comes in and it looks around and looks at you and says, you the medic?
I'm the medic on duty, yes. What can I do to help you? What ails you?
Well, it is a matter of treatment here. It's not somewhat. I have developed a rash.
Oh, I understand, sir.
It is in a inauspicious place.
I understand. Say no more. Would you like for me to take a look at it? Well, discreetly, of course.
Yes, I would like you to.
So I think I put him on the med bay panel thing that you lay down on, and the little thing scoots across, right, to
He
allow some
he goes and
privacy.
lays down, and then he turns over onto his front.
Oh, right, yes, of course. And I
Your
think
chairs. I don't know what it is.
I think I'm quickly, I've got a pad and I'm searching through the database, Tellarite, butt issues or something like that. Yeah.
I know you
A
broke
lot of
Lola.
stuff comes up, perhaps that you weren't expecting when you do that search term.
Of course, I didn't think about it. I'm like oblivious. That makes sense. Yes.
You get there are the Tellarites with their fur and so on. They have some dermatological issues in different atmospheres and things like that. You think that there are some topical creams and things that you can apply here. Would you like to try and do that?
Um, I think that I want to do that as well as search for something that might alleviate his issue, like, one of the inflatable donut kind of things or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Well, I think that this is dumb. So please roll with dumb.
Okay. So I rolled a 9. -1 is an 8.
So tell me, what is it that doesn't quite go right with this?
Um,
You succeed. You mean you do the treatment, but something isn't quite right here.
I think I have to uh, physically put the treatment on. So it's like an ointment, and there will be many sleepless nights where I can't imagine anything other than hair and ointment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to apply it, and it's greasy and unpleasant. It's not the thing that you can kind of do a hypo spray for. Please mark a point of bad luck. And he will. Are you quite done back there?
Um, I I think I'll be done. Yes, I think I'm done. Be careful. You need to stay upright for at least 2 hours to let everything uh soak in. And I'm going to give him some of the ointment to go and say, if this recurs, here's something that you can.
My Tellarite physiology is somewhat problematic. Our arms are a little shorter than one might expect here. So if I require it, I will call you.
And I say, certainly. Let me give you. You can call me, or if you'd like a more personal treatment, you can also call my commander, and I drop her name, which is
Okay.
Michelle Calloway.
Michelle Calloway. And tell me about Michelle Calloway. What is she going to think when she hears about this?
So it depends. If I'm lucky, he won't. The Tellarite won't mention that I directed him to her.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is mentioned, I will probably get reprimanded. She's very no nonsense, very much like, this is how I run an office, and you do not step out of line. Very strict.
You definitely have the sense that Tellarite is somewhat embarrassed by this. It's why he's come to a lesser ensign things. But mark your bad luck, and this is, of course, Gunther, and he will head out. Let's come then to Baxter. Baxter, tell me, who's the chief helmsman, the person who oversees your work?
Madeline McLaren.
Madeline McLaren. Yeah, I was going to say, by the way, your name does not have alliteration.
I know. For once.
Are you okay, Robert? Is there something wrong?
I'm turning over a new leaf.
All right.
It's just a reflection of, how shitty he is.
Yeah. So, Madeline McLaren's chief helmsman. What are they like? Are they more free spirited? Are they a Vulcan? Or what are they?
Yeah, I think Vulcan actually makes a lot of sense. I think she is very rigid, very play it by the books, like almost to the point where her idea of a helmsman is somebody there to basically babysit the computer. Like if everything goes right, the helmsman really shouldn't have to do anything. Just oversee the computer and let it do its thing.
And there are several shifts on the bridge. You know, alpha, beta, delta, gamma shifts. They rotate through duty shifts, and we'll assume that you and Shibab are on zeta shift, and you will see the captain comes in and uh, says to navigator, "I want you to lay in a course for the Shackleton Nebula. I've had a request from one of the ambassadors that we uh, come by the Expanse to have a look at the beauty as we have the meeting this evening." And your navigator lays that in, and Helm,
Yes, sir.
do that.
You got it, sir.
And the navigation is laid in a course. Now you're going into an area. Do that. You're going into an area that you know is a little more tricky. There's going to be some energy fields, some tachyon dispersant regions, and so on. And so this would require a little more careful piloting now once you get into this area here. And do you call your chief, or do you stay on the board and
Yeah, I think I stay on board. I mean, you know, the chief would have me do my job, so of course I'll stay on board and do it.
Absolutely. So I think this is probably. Do you think this is clumsy or dumb?
Um, I think if I am supposed to be reacting quickly, then I think clumsy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because in my head, like the whole idea of what, you know, navigating through this space, it's basically a fancy version of playing like Flappy Bird.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's the easiest way to think of it. Also, I will mention we kind of missed this in the early things. Do not forget that because this is in your specific department, not just comms, but helmsman, you also take an additional -1, so you're rolling at a 0.
Ooh. Well, I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3. So you will do it very well. What is it about this trip that actually is weirdly like a Flappy Bird app game? Like what is it that is it? Do you have to like go up and down a bunch? How do you imagine this?
Yeah, I think it's like a naturally occur for whatever reason. There's a naturally occurring pattern to the energy fields that I have to dodge, and after the first loop of that pattern, I just assume that's how it is, and that could have gone very, very bad. But it just so happened that this is just a naturally occurring pattern of energy fields, and it went very well.
Yeah, you will. You'll mark a point of good luck, and as you're doing that, the science officer, you'll see him. Sorry, her. She's looking over the board, and you see them kind of stop, and they look, and you know, they call the commander over, and there's some kind of discussion going on, and unusual. It seems like there's a pattern here that seems to be regularly occurring. It just can't be natural there, and the helmsman seems to be adjusting to it very well. Interesting. They look over at you. All right. They seem impressed with your brilliance there, and there seems to be something going on. And as this is going on, Shibab, I imagine that as the communications officer, you are scanning frequencies. But I imagine that this may be the most boring job on the bridge, right?
Absolutely.
How do you occupy yourself?
I like to write really overly wrought poetry that I'm never going to send to people. Currently, I have one for Garai, and I'm just talking about the shade of their skin for like 18 lines.
Lots of different words for green. Yeah, so you're doing it kind of. Do you like have a little pad for it, or are you actually doing it on the console? How do you do that? You think?
Ooh, I think I do it on the console, and I keep forgetting that it's not really secure. I think people have been leaking it to places.
like it's gotten out to whatever network is there. Yeah, so your poem out there, your Andorian poetry is out there in the net. No one's quite certain exactly where it's from and so on. As this is going on, and there's some communications going on the bridge behind you. It's for me. It's very much wah, 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 wah. You're hearing that going on in the background as you're doing this, and then you will notice every once in a while your eye catches the thing that does the sweep, and you get this little ping on your communications. Like there's
and my antenna go like,
it's a very faint signal. Clearly the subspace interference here is scattering it and making it difficult to read, but there's definitely some kind of communication coming in here. But you're going to have to do some work to actually get the signal in.
Yeah, I look around and I say in a really soft voice, I think I found something. Hello? Do I do my job? Hello?
They're talking. They're all occupied with the various navigational things.
Oh. All right then. And I start quoting some really like obtuse Andorian like poetry of going on and facing the darkness. I'm very dramatic. And I'm going to try to do my job properly.
So what do you think this is? Is this dumb? Or is this something else?
Ooh.
Or is it
definitely
clumsy to kind of work the knobs? I don't know. What do you think?
Ooh. That's a good point. I think like I have to try to catch it quickly enough. So I think it's clumsy. Like I have to try to pull that together.
Yeah, it's
so
a little video gaming. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Rez, the video game,
okay.
In my mind. So if someone's thinking about Flappy Bird over there, I'm thinking about Rez. So I have a +1, but because it's communications, does that mean I can apply my -1? So I'm
absolutely
at a 0. Okay. I'm going to, I forgot to put in dice. I will choose a color. Okay. That was really high. It's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, just hit 9. That's not so bad.
Okay. So a 9. So what is it that is not great about the way this goes off here? Do you blare it over the PA speakers, or do you misread it, or I mean, you get the signal in, but what isn't quite right here?
I'm not the only person that is using the console poorly. I accidentally opened up the captain's logs, and I blast it all over the ship, and it's the captain posing like like over and over again, just like
taking his headshots.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's very awkward.
Blares out across various screens. Luckily, the captain is as he usually is and has gone back to his ready room, so he doesn't see this. But you will get this signal in, and you pick it up, and it's actually a Federation distress call. But it's a very, very archaic set of codes here, like very old set of codes. Do you call your communications commander? Do you call the number one? Do you call the science officer? Who do you call?
Ooh, I'm going to once again talk in a soft voice. Hello, someone? Oh, and like I press the communication thing, and I'm going to call my boss, who is a half Klingon, half human. Her name is Belle Klonkak or something. And I call. Yes. Ma'am. Something archaic signal.
Speak
Sound.
sense.
Yes. And I have anxiety, so I'm like, whew. Okay, deep breaths.
Deep breaths, Bob. Deep breaths.
Yes. I got a distress signal, archaic, using very old Federation codes. What should we? I forgot what we're supposed to do.
Standard procedure is for you.
Yes, I forgot that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm telling you it now.
Oh, okay.
Standard procedure is for you to inform the number one. Right to call me. I will be up to the bridge shortly.
Who's number one again?
He's the one in the big chair.
Big chair.
Should be the one in the big chair. No, the one in the center big chair. Right now. It should be the person there.
Okay. Big chair. Number one.
And who is, we know we've seen the captain, Captain Dobslaw. Who is the number one, the second in command on the ship?
Ooh, I think the number one is I want to say, what would be like? I want it to be like, what is Diana Troy's?
Beta Z?
Yeah. So someone who like talks in this kind of voice.
Hey, Shivab, you seem anxious. What is it you need?
Comes over kind of. Mind again? Please don't read my mind. Please stay away.
No, you misunderstand how the beta Zs work. It's not that we read your mind.
I sense that you're feeling anxious.
Yeah. Since you're feeling anxious and upset.
Yes.
What is it you need, Shibab?
Yes. Why do I have to say this again? Archaic message. Starfleet codes.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
No, that sounds bad, ma'am.
No, this is fascinating. Tell you what, why don't you pull that up? I'll go get the captain, and we'll get everybody here to come and have you explain it to them.
Yes, I will explain and use words again against my will. Yes.
You still seem anxious.
Yes. I will work on that. I will do that now. Yes. Thank you. Big chair. I mean, number one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they will head off to get the captain. You're waiting. There's that time when you see that number one goes into the captain's ready room. There's discussion there. You see they come out, the science officer and the like a big group of the high officers are now coming over to your post. When you see the elevator doors come open, and you will see Clonk come in and comes over and it's like scoot. And so that when the officers come over, she's like, yes, the signal here we have it's in very we can tell, yes, and she begins to explain, and the captain goes, this is very interesting. This seems like a signal from the coelacanth, but they were lost 50 years ago. And we go dun dun dun, and we fade to commercial at that point. So we'll fade to black on that, and we'll take our break here. And when we come back, we'll see the four of you commiserating in 10 forward. So we come back from that commercial break, and you come into 10 forward, Wet, and you look around, and there's only one table that's open, but it isn't exactly open because you will see sprawled out on it is it Gary? It's Gary, right? On there. There's some mess on the table. The person's kind of trying to clear it, but going around him. What would you do, Wet?
Oh, so I think I walk up to the bar, and as I pass by, I think that one of the bartenders just finished, filling up someone's drink, and I just grab whatever that bottle was and walk over to where Gary is, and I sit down, and I shoo the person away. I think they're trying to get glasses, and I'm like, I think Gary is in different stages of unconsciousness, and Wet's just like, I'm so glad you saved us a table. And I sit down and, start drinking whatever's left on the table. So this might be some of the leftover blood wine. And,
you can pour it together until you get kind of a mix there of Klingon backwash and
anything that just
blood ale.
cancels out that image. Yeah.
It will. So you kind of come to Gary, and you see Wet throwing back the last of some booze.
Wait, Wet, something has gone terribly wrong.
Don't remind me.
There is this synthahol that the Klingons are drinking is defective somehow. I've been trying to throw off its effects, but it has not been working.
Doesn't sound like a problem to me.
No, the holodeck.
The Klingons aren't coming back, are they?
I don't know. That seems like something I should know, doesn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Did you see them?
I've seen too much. I didn't see the Klingons.
Did anybody come in stabbed or decapitated?
Ugh, no.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, they're... Oh, wait a minute. If you're here, that means Zeta shift is over. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm all right then, because my shift is over.
Did you report, to your next in, the next in line?
Oh, Commander Uhura, no. I should probably tell her that the Klingons have defective synthahol. That sounds like a security risk, doesn't it?
Do you think they have more?
I think
hope
that's
not.
the line at which the doors open, and we see Baxter and Shibab, who kind of know each other, are coming in together.
There's this awkward moment at the door, like, oh, you.
Yeah, I think we probably had an awkward moment even like on the turbo lift before we even got here.
Like
Where
with
we got off
elevator.
the turbo lift. Yeah, and we got off the turbo lift and it was like, okay, see ya. But then we were both walking in the same direction.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we're going to the same. I keep forgetting there's one of these things in the ship, so nowhere else to go.
And you'll see that there are just two seats left. You'll see a bedraggled Gari and a like probably head still shaking Wet.
Oh, and I turned to person that I do not know, and I'm turning to Baxter. You should check on the magnificently green-skinned creature to see if he's all right.
I mean, he'll be fine. I just saved the day. I think I need a drink. And I just immediately go over and sit down and pour a drink of whatever is available there.
Waiter comes over, has a table, has a glass for you. They know your preferences.
Ensign Baxter, how is the steering wheel? No.
Oh, it was so good.
No, that's the navigator. You're the helmsman.
Yeah, I gotta evade everything, man. Like, you should have saw it. It just, big lever goes up, big lever goes down, big lever goes up. After that, I just kept doing it. And everyone was like, dang, man, you're good.
Was the captain on the bridge?
I mean, is the captain ever on the bridge? No.
oh, you're right. Is there some kind of minimum like number of hours regulation that you have to actually be in command to be the commander? Because I don't know if he's got all of those hours.
Yeah, I don't think so. And hey, you got to give a shout out to Shivop here. You know, found some really awesome communication stuff.
And I'm standing there
Shivop.
looking really handsome. And I open my mouth and say, your skin, it's green. Yes.
Yes, I am an Orion, and we are green the same way that you are blue.
Oh, you've noticed what I look like? And I start trying to hide behind a plant, a potted plant.
No, you're Zeta Shift. You should sit down too.
Oh, yes,
The Z team has to stick together.
Oh, we're a team.
We're all gonna someday. We are all gonna be on the bridge together.
Yeah, we're a team. That's what my commander always tells us is the teamwork makes the dream work, baby. And tonight we did it good. We did it upright.
Yeah, Commander Uhura doesn't really say stuff like that. She's more of a hitter.
Yeah, I mean, Commander McLaren, she doesn't really say teamwork is the dream work, but that's the vibe I get, you know? Like sometimes you got to vibe check her and you just got to feel what the words mean.
Okay, here's the thing. Be careful because there's something wrong with the synthahol. The Klingons, I cannot seem to
explode, implode. I'm a communications officer. I can figure this out.
Make it go away. It's not going away.
Oh, coffee? I've heard that can help.
I don't like hot drinks because they're like.
I take out my pad and start taking notes. He does not like hot
I don't like hot drinks because they can spill and like you can get burns. And see, this is a thing. Hot liquids are actually hotter than solids that are the same temperature because of something with the molecules and the energy, but if you spill something like hot coffee, it hurts more. So I don't drink hot things.
And I turn to Wet. Isn't there something you can do for him?
Well, I mean, the best thing is just don't spill your drink. That's
Right.
an option.
That's why I don't drink hot things.
I thought I was asking about something else, but I forgot, so it's okay.
Okay.
All right. So look, I saved the ship from exploding, right? And Shivab found some awesome old Federation distress signal or something that I'm sure was pretty cool if you're into that.
Oh, wait a minute. Like distress signal? Okay, what's going on with that?
It's a signal of distress. Yes.
But I mean, like, is it like, was there like an attack or some kind of disease or like some kind of spatial anomaly that they're gonna now go investigate? What did it say? Was it just like tell me it was like an unmanned beacon and just there?
Well, they did talk about it and they moved their mouths a lot, and I don't remember. Yes.
Wet, you will see the doors open to 10 forward, and you will see it's kind of crowded in here, but there's now a couple people moved out, so there's still some table space. You see that there's a group of Andorians talking there, and you will see come in that Tellarite, as well as a pair of Gorn, and they come in, and the Gorn are looking around, and you can tell right away that the Gorn are like real uncomfortable in here, like they're clearly not hot on crowds, but the Tellarite seems to be talking, and they're kind of following along, like okay. And the Tellarite kind of sits them down at the table, kind of bends over a little and sets them there, and sits the Gorn down there. Unfortunately, the Tellarite is like right in your eye line.
I think I get up and I walk at our table, and I walk around to the other end where Shivab is. And I think, I kind of say, Shivab, why don't you have a seat over here? You were standing up kind of behind
sure,
the plant,
friend.
right?
Yeah. Sure, friend. Thank you. You are so kind.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there'll be any problem here. So yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on. Yeah. So you heard the distress call. I mean, what did the person sound like?
Oh. It was an ancient code. There wasn't really a voice. I should know this, right? Since I should have remembered. I realized that's an important part of the I will take note, and I will look that up later and report to you, apparently.
Oh, I was just curious. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the distress signal was pretty cool, but the part where I saved the ship from exploding, that was pretty cool too.
Why was
the ship was exploding?
Why was the ship going to explode?
Because there was energy fields, and I felt in my brain.
So there's like a distress call from an ancient vessel and weird energy fields?
Yeah, but it was like a recurring pattern, a naturally recurring pattern. And so, like I said, like lever goes up, one, lever goes down, one. And it's so easy.
Okay. Oh,
You will hear one of the Andorians say quite loudly, "No, tell me, how slow is a Gorn?" "Well, I'll tell you how slow a Gorn is. A Gorn's so slow that if you put him down on the planet with you, you'd have time to invent gunpowder before he could get to you." And you'll see the Gorns like turn, and the Andorians are all laughing at this.
He's talking about Captain Kirk.
And the Gorn, like one of the Gorn heads, like turns to you, like that name comes up, and that rumble seems to be getting louder. Like you hear the Gorns, like they're, and it's clearly coming through the translators for the Andorians, and they're like, "Oh no, you didn't." And that seems to be going back and forth. Their little antenna, are down. The Gorns are kind of pushing. The Tellarites Tellarites he's an ambassador. He ought to be like interfering in this, but he's having trouble sitting, and he seems to be preoccupied. Shibab, you're an Andorian. What do you do? You know what's coming.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. I can tell, with that particular pattern of the antenna, something's going to go down. So I stand up. Friends, I feel this is. Oh gosh, am I talking out loud? Am I standing in front of everybody? Is everyone looking at me? This is not. This is. Why don't we drink instead? Drinks on me. And I'm going to try to convince everybody to calm down.
Oh, so let's have you roll rude.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so -1 for rude. Could I theoretically, it feels so weird to try to do well in this game. Could I theoretically use communications and that I know how to?
No, you're not as your communications council.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, Merlin, you don't agree? Okay.
Noel's wrong.
Okay, I have a 6.
You have a 6. So
wow.
your intent is to dissuade the Andorians, get them chilled down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So mark good luck. Ooh. And you get over, and the Andorians look at you, and one of them says, "Oh, you're Zizlots, aren't you?"
Yes, you know me. We are a proud family. What is the spiel? Warrior things. Yes.
Proud family. Yes, of warriors.
Yes.
This is that one that survived of the 7.
Yes, they all died horrible, gruesome deaths. We're very proud.
Yes. That and there seems to be some laughing about that. Horrible, gruesome deaths. Yes. None of them clumsy accidents or anything like that.
No, not at all. No matter what is
People
reported
say.
With accurate data, yes, that is incorrect.
So Shibab had gone over and is occupied with the Andorians. The Andorians listen, but the Gorns are still hopping mad. And you see them start to stand up in that way that says, we're now going to go and start a bar fight with these Andorians because the diplomat is occupied with trying to find another cushion for his chair. Gari, this might be your branch of things. Yes. You are still blood drunk.
Yeah, I am blood drunk. So I think that normally I'd just call for backup, right?
Right.
But I feel like I can handle this. It's just 2 Gorns. Captain Kirk took one down. Like they said, he had all the time in the world. So yeah. So I get up and I have that thing. My hands are up like this, and I walk towards them and I say, "Ambassadors, please. There's no need for belligerence. There's no need for getting upset. I'm sure that the Andorians were not aware of how your people feel about Captain Kirk."
So, if you have to stand up and face down these 2 Andorians, these 2 Gorns here,
yeah.
You stand, got to get yourself together, move over to start saying that. I would like you to please roll cowardly.
Yeah, okay.
Can I help?
Yes, you can.
Because I think at this point, we've all been commiserating and sharing our wins for the day.
Okay.
And yeah, I think when I see Gary get up, I'm like, you know what? I gotta have his back.
So let's have you roll.
And so I rolled an 8, minus my relationship with Gary, which would be so that puts it at 6.
Look at that. Gary, you can roll your cowardly with advantage.
Excellent.
So roll 3d6 and take the 2 worst.
I got your back, bro.
Nice. Thanks. Baxter. All right. Let's see what we got here. So I take the 2 lowest, right?
Yeah.
So that is a 4 plus 2 gets me to 6.
Oh my God. You backed up by your helmsman pal step up onto these Gorns, and you kind of get in between, and they see your security uniform, they kind of hit, and you're kind of talking, and they stop, and they pause there, and then you'll see the Tellarite kind of fall over, like passes out, and everybody turns. What do you do?
So I think
Oh.
Wet
There's a medical emergency. You have to take care of it.
Wet ducks down, like kind of behind the plant that Shivob was behind, kind of looks back here, and I think as soon as Shivob says, "Oh, there's a medical emergency, you have to handle it," he kind of glares at him a little bit, and then walks over and pulls out, like a little pad, and hits a few buttons, and tries to scan the Tellarite to see what's wrong.
Let's have you roll dumb.
Dumb. Oh, I rolled boxcars. Yeah.
So clearly the Tellarite is having some kind of interaction with what he was drinking and this medical cream. So you need to give him a shot of this other thing, which you happen to have in your med kit.
Right, of course.
Which you do.
Mm-hmm.
How is that the absolute worst thing?
I think he has an allergic reaction, and this causes swelling or possible hair loss.
Yeah. I think there's a combination, like you hit him with this, you're like, okay. And everyone is standing around watching you as you do this. They see you do the spray hypo, and we see his like there's a pause, he stops kind of shivering, and then his face kind of gets puffy. And you know how Tellarite face is kind of squished in? It kind of blows up, so the wrinkles like pop out when it expands. And then you can start to see the hair kind of fall out.
Oh, that's normal. It's fine.
Why don't you take a point
I
of
lean
bad
over.
luck?
I lean over and try to put the hair back. Oh, here we go. It's okay.
And the Endorians go, maybe we should call the chief medical officer?
Oh, no. Wet is like one of the best. Don't worry. He's got this. We don't need anybody else.
Oh, all right. Wet, you are less convinced of that fact.
Right.
In fact, you are certain that there's a good chance that you're about to kill this man.
I say, the show's over. It'll be fine. We should take him down to the medical bay just to make sure everything's okay. He'll be able to sleep this off. And I think I actually put my arms underneath him and start trying to drag him back towards back towards where the door is, unceremoniously. Yeah.
Yeah, like those awkward Monty Python things where it's just really long as you drag him back.
Would you please add the condition inept to
Oh,
your
yeah.
character. So, Shebab, you kind of got the Andorians steadied. The Gorns have kind of fallen back. Gari and Baxter, what do you do?
Like it looks like Wet is having real trouble dragging that Tellarite out.
Tellarites are very, very dense.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over, and I am a big, strong guy.
Yes, you are.
So I'm gonna go over and like, what you do a lot as a security guard? Lug around unconscious people, like pirates they've stunned and stuff like this and everything. The first officer zaps him and then runs off to the next room, but I gotta drag him to the brig, right? So
this I think to help Wet and get this guy to wherever Wet needs to get him to, as his hair is falling off onto your uniform, is going to be a weak roll.
Yeah, all right. Which is actually flat for me. So
yeah,
my second best stat. That's an 11. Wah.
That is an 11.
Oh, and that is all that blood wine in my stomach coming up on that Tellarite, isn't it? Probably
yes,
is what's
I
happening.
think you get that, and the Tellarite. There is a smell to this Tellarite now.
Yeah.
That is pure Tellarite funk. Like something like he's got like some kind of sweat that is now coming out as the reaction, and the smell is visceral, like Tellarite musk. And you've got to lift up, and you get a full-on whiff of this.
Well, because the standard carry is arm over your so it's like I lift that arm up
and then and all over the Tellarite, all over the Gorn, and it is prismatic blood wine puke.
It looks like I'm vomiting blood,
yes,
right?
Yes,
because they're like it's all, and so now the Tellarite not only is looks like he's had some kind of hemorrhaging and stuff like
people
this.
People are freaking out. This Tellarite has collapsed. Is this a plague? And now this security Orion is spouting blood. What do you do, Baxter?
Oh my gosh.
Can't take a point of bad luck, Gari.
Like at this point, I think I would try to, at this point, I've had drinks, right? We've all had some drinking, not quite as much as Gary. But I think I've had enough to the point that I feel like I'm on the level where I can hit my communicator and try to ask people to be beamed to medbay.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll rude.
Yeah, I think that is definitely rude. That is just not even going through the chain of command. And rude is my best stat. Yeah. And I rolled a 4, so that's a 3.
So you're like, beam medbay now. And how many do you say need to be beamed to medbay? I think I probably just say 3. Okay. I think with that success that you and Gari and the Tellarite will be beamed to medbay, taking Wet out of the blame cycle here. Gari, you and the Tellarite kind of collapsed to the floor of the medbay, and I believe it was Madeline McLaren, right? Is that the
yes?
There's a tab there that says database that I've actually been putting our NPCs into.
Oh, you put the NPC names in. So that's the helmsman. So Michelle Calloway. So the medical officer is, and what's all this then? Because of course they got an Irish actress there for this, and
medical
no, and immediately spray hypo to the neck to put you out, and she's saying, "Help me get this one up onto the thing." And the other ensigns are coming over, and they're doing putting them on the thing, and you kind of black out, Gari, and you are now coated with blood as well, there, Baxter. your friend's going to die, obviously, given the amount of blood that he's lost there. That's just a horrible thing. And you hear the chief medical officer says, "Who gave this Tellarite sulfidine? Sulfidine? That's the worst thing you could give him." We cut back to 10 forward. There's that thing of the transports, and it gets like everyone's standing there like,
That went well. Yes. Obviously they're safe and rescued. Yes. And I turned to Wet, because Wet's still there, right?
Yeah.
I turned to Wet. You did a really good job. That was, because I still think you're your brother? Like I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay. Just like back in the academy, you're amazing.
Thank you. So yeah, how about saving more lives today? I mean, all of us, we're all great. Yeah.
Yeah. Pointedly ignoring the Andorians and everybody else there.
And you will see the Beta said #1 comes in. There's some people with him. Oh, sorry, with them. They've clearly been called down here, and they come in and they look around and they're like, oh, kind of going around. Oh, you seem like you're upset. I can sense some upset from you. Comes over to where you're at, Shivab. I sense that things went. You're feeling okay now.
Yes. If I cover my antenna, can you not read my mind? Is that how it works?
No, it's not like I read your mind.
Oh,
It's that I can sense how you're feeling there. Can
Okay.
sense that. It kind of comes off of you. And they go over and they start talking to the Andorian. We'll see them stop and they kind of start to turn because they can sense that sort of anxiety that Wet has.
And I think Wet steps
Hey.
between them and Shivab, so there's not any eye contact and kind of shrinks a little bit.
And they kind of okay, and they talk to the Andorians and the Gorns, and I can sense some anxiety from you, Gorns. Can feel that coming off of you. Why don't you sit down? We'll get you all set. And they calm the situation down a little bit, and they say, then they turn and goes, another good job from you today, Shivab, right? Shivab, Ensign Shivab.
Yeah. But it was all Wet. Wet did really well today. I think he deserves an award.
Oh, which one is Ensign Wet? Is it medical? Where I don't see him.
The one who's like hiding heroically behind me. He has a hard time being recognized. I really think he needs an award ceremony for all the good work that he's been doing.
Well, I'll review the tapes. Well, that on that Ensign Wet.
Yes.
Can maybe step out a little bit there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
You're a hero.
So what happened here, Ensign Wet?
Oh, there was so much. It was so fast that the ambassador passed out and fell down, and I gave them something to clear their stomach, and then I think that there was an after effect from the Klingons where they have infected synthahol, and that's all I know. They just were beamed away. It's okay.
I heard a lot of words there. Yeah. All right. I can sense some confusion. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you two go back to your quarters, and we'll take care of the rest of this then. Thank you, ensigns.
Thank you. Yeah, good job, Wet. Wow, I should be more like you. I need to become braver and better at my job.
I'm sure one day you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we will cut to a little while later. You wake up in the med bay, and you see Calloway glaring at you. What exactly did you drink, Ensign Gary?
I was under orders from Commander Uhura to make sure that I kept up with the Klingons, ma'am. And they're
physically or in drink for drink?
I did not drink any more than the normal ration of synthahol that I would otherwise drink.
Well, that's not synthahol that you were drinking.
Wait, what?
No, that's pure Klingon blood ale.
How is it? I thought that's not regulation, ma'am. They shouldn't have that.
For Starfleet officers, these are ambassadors. Thought that you would have a little more sense than that. I'm very disappointed in you. And you can look over and you see that the Tellarite is under like one of those machines where he's doing the scanning. He's clearly alive, but he's still a little puffy. And she's like, "You should be okay. I had to re-knit the lining of your stomach. You will need to avoid any strong drinks for the next 48 hours."
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. It didn't even occur to me that they would have. I mean, who drinks real alcohol? That's dangerous. Do you know how alcohol works on your system? It actually poisons you. The mental effects that you get are because it's killing your brain cells.
See your pause, and he goes, "You realize I am the chief medical officer."
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't understand why anybody would do that, is all I'm trying to say.
Why don't you have your friend, Ensign Baxter, escort you back to your rooms?
And I look over and I see that Bax is still there, and my face just lights up. Oh, Bax, you hung around.
Yeah, I got your back, man. I told you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, what'd you call us? Team Z, right?
Yeah, Z team. That's
Z
right.
team.
This has been really hard. This was a bad day. Why do people do that? Do you know? So here's the thing that I learned about, and so like. Oh,
yellow alert.
No. Oh, okay. Yellow. Okay.
And
right.
You'll hear over your comms, Zeta Shift team report to Ready Room 3. Zeta Shift team report to Ready Room 3.
Okay. I think did they fix my stomach, so I should be okay.
Yeah, just whatever we gotta do. I mean, don't drink a bunch of alcohol again. I mean, at least for 48 hours.
I can probably. I'm never having that again. I've never felt like that. I don't ever want to feel like that ever again for the rest of my life. It was scary.
Well, I think statistically next time won't be as bad. But okay, yeah.
You two are taking off. Let me ask you this, Wet. Who is your roommate?
Let's say Baxter's my roommate.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know them very well, but we just yes.
So you're back in your room. You probably settled down. Like, okay, now it's time to get rest. You're a little worried about what's going to happen with what went on with the Tellarite. But it's probably got a little bit of anxiety when the yellow alert will hit, and you'll get a through your comm badge, Ensign Wet, Zeta team report to Ready Room 3. And Shebab, who is your roommate?
Ooh, I think my roommate. What would be fun? I think.
Totally an android.
Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah. I like that idea. So yeah, they're an android.
Someone, like the only person who knows like less about relationships than you do.
Yeah, the one other person on the whole ship.
I wanted to tell you, Shibab, if had the chance, I've been reading through the poetry that you wrote, and it has many words for color in it.
Oh, how many times have I told you, friend? That's private, and my like antenna is like really
Oh,
embarrassed.
I hadn't realized that since I found it on the main ship's computer network.
The what?
Pulls that up. Yes, it's the same folder that I found these pictures of the captain.
Oh, I thought that was a private. But my name, no names are there. Oh my gosh, did I write down names?
No, you don't identify the figure you're speaking about except for that handsome green-skinned one.
Right, and there are a lot of green-skinned people on this ship.
Well, there are actually approximately 2.
Oh, that is horribly cruel of the universe to do this to me.
Well, 3,
But,
actually, now that I think about it, because there are 2 Gorn ambassadors.
oh, so there's talking about the gourd. I guess it could be a beautiful. But yes. You had something to say?
I would suggest that if it is the Gorn ambassadors, you consider using some serpent or snake-based or reptile-based imagery.
Oh, that's a really good idea. I am, yes, talking about them and not someone else more handsome and beautiful.
Boy.
my partner's reacting to me. Sorry.
Well then, excellent. Yes, very good. And that's when the comm will, yellow alert, and Zeta team report to Ready Room 3.
I have something important to tell you, but I forgot because of the alert. I will see you later, friend.
Yes, you will. Well, very likely. Well, not entirely, but anyway.
Yes, and I put out a hand and stop and
Yes.
on my way. Yes.
Okay. And we will cut. There are a few other members of the Zeta Shift team that we see there. Some senior people. We see the 4 of you kind of in the back, kind of together. Uniforms have been cleaned. Just as that is the nature of Star Trek, is they can do that and everything's clean, which is the best part of the future. You're back there, and you can see that there are a couple of the senior officers, including number 1, and there's some discussion, and you can see that they're passing around some things. You can tell by the starfield outside and things that, and actually see there's a planet nearby that the ship is in orbit, and there'll be some discussions, and it clearly there's a splitting up of things, and finally the number 1 will look and go, all right then. So I can tell that you're all anxious, yellow alert and that kind of thing. So let me tell you the situation. So we're in orbit of the Perseus 3 system, and we're at Perseus Majora, and we're in orbit up there. We received, actually, why don't we have, would Ensign Shibab, why don't you step forward here? You can just kind of step up, okay?
Hello. Yes, I found the poetry. I mean the signal. I found the signal. Yes. Ancient code. Disturbing. Everyone is worried. Yes.
Yeah. So we arrived here in orbit, and there's a large amount of chronal field radiation in the area, indicating a temporal anomaly has just ended or has changed, so on. We don't know. We're still working on that. But the big thing is that we found a ship known as a coelacanth, which is an older ship. It's still intact and in orbit. It's giving us this distress signal. There's some debris in orbit around it. We're trying to figure that out. There's another ship. We think there might have been a battle. Oh, yeah, I know, battle. It kind of makes you all like, hey, don't worry about it. It's all going to be good. So we're putting together some away teams, and we're going to beam over to the coelacanth, and we're going to see what's going on. And so with me, Ensign Wecht, Ensign for medical, Ensign Baxter in case we have to do a steering thing, Ensign Gari for security, and then let's have Ensign Shibab, and then let's have Ensign Red and Ensign Sheart come with us as well, and we'll be heading over. There'll be several teams. We're going to be taking the main saucer section. So you're all with me. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Any questions?
How interesting.
That's for the universe to tell us.
Oh, that's the worst kind of answer. Thank you, ma'am.
Ensign Kari, I can sense some anxiety from you.
Is this one of those temporal anomalies that might like cause us to cease to exist, ma'am?
You know, some of them do. Some of them don't. The problem is that the temporal anomalies that actually cause you to cease to exist, well, we don't really know about those because they kind of write you out of history. We can tell by implication. So the ones that we mostly know about don't do that based on that statistically.
That's very reassuring, ma'am. Thank you.
Meet me in transporter room 4 in 30 minutes. And
yes, sir.
We'll be heading over.
Okay, 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. And they kind of nod. They're clearly excited. They relish the challenge of taking along some green ensigns, and Ensign Shibab is the one who discovered this, so they brought them along to help figure things out, and it's great. And we see everybody else file out. Red and Sheart will head on down to the transporter room. They don't talk much. They room together.
Yeah. Okay. If we have 30 minutes, then can you? So I just need to go to the holodeck, and can one of you just in 20 minutes just beep it so that I know that it's time to go and we can go. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay. So, just remind me, transporters are safer than shuttlecrafts, right? Transporters safer than shuttlecrafts.
Yes.
Okay. And I walk out of the room going, safer than shuttlecrafts, safer than shuttlecrafts, safer than shuttlecrafts. As I, and I am making a beeline to the holodeck.
Okay. What are you? Any preparations you're making, Ensign Wet?
Yeah. So I think that Ensign Wet, looks really scared. Like this is not good because I'm supposed to just be sitting doing a desk job, and somehow they think I'm competent enough to go on a away mission, and that I didn't sign up for that. So I think I'm over in the corner searching, Googling, searching, okay, replicating the 50-year-old equivalent of a med kit. I think I have my issued one. But it's like, okay, I need this one with Band-Aids and maybe some gauze and, leeches or whatever the 50-year-old equivalent is. I'm like,
in case you get sent back in time?
Well, or something, yeah.
All right, yeah, so you're replicating up an archaic med kit with
And
a little salt shaker scanner.
Yeah, and I think I write a nasty note to my brother. right? And I leave this
You son of a bitch.
that's right. You screwed me over, damn it. You know, if this happens and I get erased from existence, you'll be an only child, damn you. And I don't send it directly to him. I wait and put one of those delay timers.
Okay.
If I make it back, I can turn it off and everything's okay, but otherwise he gets a chewing out.
What about you, Ensign Baxter?
Oh, I think I'm kind of relishing this opportunity, right? And so I am at I think I'm probably standing near the holodeck that Gary went in, and I'm just sort of fidgeting with my phaser. And I'll look around and make sure nobody is in the hallway or anything, and then I'll do a point it, and, do a little roll, and kind of just psyching myself up.
Okay, I think that's fair. You're like, oh yeah, take that temporal anomaly, people. And you definitely doing that. And Shibab, what are you doing?
I'm following Garai to the holodeck. But I'm not going to watch or anything. I'm just gonna stand outside and silently give him positive energy. And I just look like I'm standing really handsomely. Like I'm thinking smart things, but not really.
Garai, what are you doing in the holodeck?
I'm clearly I'm buzzing with anxiety as I walk up, and I say, computer, Ensign Garai, activate holodeck program, PBS, MRN. And the doors open, they slide open, and some very pleasant music starts playing, just kind of like a little ditty. Well, it's more like and I where the holodeck doors slide open, I walk in, and it's it's like a set from a television show, but it looks like a suburban apartment. And there's a very gentle looking man in a cardigan taking his shoes off to put sneakers on. And he says, "Hey, everybody, it's Garai. Gosh, Garai, you look awfully upset. What's the matter?" And I go over and I flop down onto the seat next to him, and I say, "Mr. Fred, I'm really afraid. We're going to be going into a temporal anomaly." And then, and basically I am there to be consoled by our serial numbers filed off version of Mr. Rogers,
right? Be afraid. Everybody's afraid. And most people never have to deal with a real temporal anomaly,
What if I don't exist anymore afterwards?
Well, we'll know who you were.
That's right, you will. Thanks, Mr. Fred. This makes it feel a lot better. I think I can go do this now.
All right.
I really appreciate your taking the time to talk to me, sir.
Absolutely. There's that buzz.
Yeah.
20 minutes. I think you're a little surprised to find Shibab by the door when you come to do the buzzing there, Baxter.
And I leap forward behind a plant.
Yeah, I think as soon as the door comes out, I think Baxter is pumped up, and is just yeah, let's do this. Come on, are you pumped up? Are you ready to go?
You know what? It's okay, because if I cease to exist, you guys will still remember me.
Hell yeah, Team Z.
Team Z.
They fist bump Shibab.
Oh, I go from behind the plant.
We'll cut to the transporter room. The number one is there. They are sad to see them looking over the transporter console, talking to the chief. Hey, everybody's here. Great. Is everybody ready to head on over? All right.
Yes, using a transporter is much safer than going by shuttle, so this is the right thing to do.
Relatively.
I am so ready. Look at this cool trick. And then I start spinning the phaser on one finger. Let's go.
I sense some confidence from you, perhaps only slightly misplaced, but yeah, I can tell you're excited. I'm feeling that. All right, everybody on the pads, and they bring you over there, and all right, Chief, energize, and we'll see you come in, and you're in a darkened hallway, old style ship, that sort of flat gray of the old TOS Star Trek hallways. The lights are kind of dim and maybe flickering. Clearly power is slightly offline.
Constitution class.
And it smells like maybe there's some kind of fire or something around here. And the number one says, I'm going to take Red and Shirt, and we're going to check the power relays here. Let's see. Ensign Gary, why don't you take the others and head on up to the bridge?
And I think as this is going on, Wet's like trying to turn on his little, the flashlight thing that they have, and he pounds it a little bit, and it ends up flashing everyone in the eyes with it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. What are your orders when we get there, sir?
Well, let's have, if there's any survivors, Ensign Wet, you take care of them. Ensign Shebop, you check the communications. Ensign Baxter, you check on the helm.
All right.
Keep in constant communication. I know there's a lot of subspace interference, so we may not be able to contact one another once we get too far in this ship. A lot of weird temporal readings we're getting. Okay,
so first thing to remember, everybody, in an emergency, you don't use the turbo lifts. You use the Jeffries tubes, okay? So it's going to be a little bit of a climb, but much safer than using the turbo lifts when we don't know, if they might be malfunctioning. And, and I lead everybody down the corridor and whatever, take a left and...
Yeah, head off the smell. Head off, you'll head to one of the areas there, and you will see that old style uniform. There is a person in a yellow uniform with a sewn badge, and they are laying there on the floor just below the Jeffries tube, and they appear to be dead.
Wet, this is your department.
I think Wet, whenever everybody kind of turns to look at Wet, and Wet turns to look behind him, and then okay, and he kind of walks up and hits a couple of things, and I think he puts a hand to see if they're warm, on the neck or something.
Yeah, they're pretty cold.
Oh. And I think he tries to look something up.
Take out the little thing. Yeah, right. I'm sure you remembered. I'm just helping you.
Yeah. And I think he kind of hits a couple of buttons and says, there's no life signs present.
Why don't
But
you
how did they die?
let's have you make a dumb roll to see what you get from reading your instrumentation here.
Okay, so dumb is a -1. I rolled a 7, so that's a 6.
They've only been dead maybe 10 or 12 hours, and they were killed by a disruptor, like a close disruptor blast.
Okay, but like 10 or 12, like what kind of hours? Like relative hours? I mean, there's temporal things happening here. I mean, it could be 100 years ago, but not, I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't think I had the temporal math class at the academy like you did, so I don't know. All I know is hours.
well, I mean, I didn't take temporal mechanics either. I mean, you've got to be like a Vulcan to take temporal mechanics. But I read about starship disasters. It's kind of a hobby. And so this is just like, okay, this is way too much like the USS Romulus Remus on Cestus 3, but okay, he's like, shouldn't you tell the doctor?
There isn't a doctor here.
Call like on the ship. I mean, can we ask her for advice about what to do here?
Ensigns, listen, we need to get to the bridge.
I think they're dead. So
Yeah, that sounds right. Dead is dead.
Okay.
Listen, as the ranking ensign on the team, as being the one who's on the bridge the most, I think we need to get to the bridge.
Okay. All right. So all right. And so I reach up and I, twist the hatch that leads to the Jeffries tube, which is the, like original series style, like, whatever.
So
like,
narrow.
With the,
so
yeah.
tight.
And, like you're climbing up at like a ladder or whatever. It's like a ladder at a whatever, 45-degree angle. And I look up at it and I gulp and I say, all right, so I'm the biggest one here. So I need to go last because if I can't fit, then we don't want me to get stuck and you get stuck behind me. So, Shivab, you're the skinniest.
Uh-huh.
So
you notice what my body looks like. Yes.
You should go first.
Oh, okay.
Let me roll back here a second too. Shibab, during this investigation of the body and Gari beginning to tell you horror stories of ship disasters, have you been doing anything? You get scanning equipment, things like that. What have you been doing?
Well, first, I faithfully took note of Garai's like traumas and fears, as I should. But yes, I'm also going to like do that general thing where they just like scan the air to get as much information as possible.
Let's have you roll dumb.
Yeah, just that like, just like going around,
Absolutely,
pulling in information in this sci-fi future. Okay, so that's dumb. Ooh, I rolled low. Okay, what's my dumb? I'm really dumb.
Dumb's a +2.
4. Oh, so I still hit 6. Good job. Amazing.
There is communications chatter going on in the ship that's not your own.
People are talking to each other that are not us on the ship. But then some people are dead. I guess the dead people aren't talking. But there are other people who are talking. There's chatter. Yes.
What are they saying?
Yeah, do I have enough to like get info on, or is it just general like?
You have a point of good luck. Do you want to spend that?
Sure. Oh, do I also get another point for rolling?
Yes.
Low? Yeah. Yeah, but I'm willing to, so I'll spend the 1. I'm just looking at the rules just to remember
It
what
is.
it does.
This is a piece of information you can get with this. It is archaic Klingon encoded. Like it's like they're clearly using encryption, and it's archaic Klingon. I mean, like 50 years ago.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to justify this by saying I was really good at studying Klingon, but only archaic Klingon and not the not the current. So like it's Shakespearean kind of like,
totally Klingon opera.
Yeah. So like
more that the codes are archaic, but yeah, it's old style Klingon.
Right. Yeah, and I explained this. So there are Klingons on the ship.
Wait, what now?
Yes. Well, using Klingon codes, I guess they're Klingon, right?
Yeah, probably. All
I mean,
right,
I don't know. They could be right.
Yeah. It's totally not possible for some
If they wanted to be real secret.
So we got to get to the bridge.
True. Yeah, but you are strong and muscular and you can protect us, but I will go first. And then, so like, I go up, and I'm really conscious about being first. Like, as I go, please don't look at me as I go first.
It is a long way up. Please make a weak roll for me.
Woo, okay, here we go.
This is the only person I want to make a weak roll because it's the first person to go.
Oh, makes sense. Weak is +1. All right, here we go. Ooh, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Woo.
So I think I'm going to give you the condition exhausted.
Yeah.
Because, you're used to working at that comm. I mean, you do the basic calisthenics, the Starfleet, training manual stuff, but
You've got a desk job. I stand all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baxter, you're second. Are you trying to push Shivab forward? Are you kind of staying and just shivering with anticipation, or what?
I think I'm using Shivab's like Shivab is definitely getting exhausted, and I can tell, and I'm using it as an excuse to kind of slack off a little bit, because like this is just boring, and I've got my hand, like I keep on like tapping the side of my waist where I'm just like making sure I've still got my phaser, like like kind of like you do, like, oh, do I still have my keys on me, and like you tap your pocket. Like I'm just constantly doing that with my phaser, like just make sure I still have it.
Shibab, you get to the top, you get to the thing where you kind of come out and you're in the elevator thing, and you have to pull open the elevator doors then.
Yeah, and I'm making this awful sound like and we think it's a door, but it's my lungs.
And you and Baxter can get and stand up in there and together pull this open, and you will open these doors. Baxter, I'm going to have you roll dumb.
That is a 12.
Well, the good news is you get to mark a point of bad luck and XP if we were going long term. So I think as you're doing this, like Shibab is concentrating and pulling open these doors, and you are also, but you're the one who's looking, we kind of see from your perspective. And as it opens, we see the ambush party of Klingons in there with the disruptors at the ready. And you look up and you see these swarthy people. They look like humans with weird sash things, and they're very dark skinned, and they have these weird beards on. Do you know what a human fusion Klingon looks like? Do you think that's something that's in Baxter's wheelhouse? Like knows what the old style ones that had that genetic problem?
Probably not, though. I'm sure that I've probably heard Gary talk about it at some point, like just very brief details.
Yeah. So I think your reaction is very much a, huh, when you see them there for a second, and they have their disruptors up, and one of them shouts, "Lay down your weapons, Federation dogs!" What do you do?
There are no dogs here.
An Andorian.
Yeah, I think I'm just, that definitely. And I reach for my phaser to like put it down on the ground, and I think I just drop it down the Jeffries tube.
Okay. So deliberately drop it down?
Yeah, because, maybe somebody else could catch it, and, I'm like kind of like passing a signal.
Well, Wet, you look up, they've kind of stopped, you've been waiting there, and then this phaser type 2 comes falling down towards your head. Could you please make a clumsy roll for me?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I rolled an 8 and my clumsy is a 0.
So I think you catch the phaser, but the phaser goes off. Does it fire up? Does it fire down? Does it fire sideways?
I think if you don't mind me stretching that a little bit, I think it fires kind of diagonally through the open door, right where they are.
Yeah, hits that, and that glass shatters up there. Gary, you hear a phaser fire, and then glass shattering above you, and you're kind of stuck because Wet still hasn't moved all the way up. So let's just kind of do what everybody's doing. Suddenly, the situation changes. The Klingons are startled as the phaser goes off. There are 4 of them. They've got disruptors. They had the advantage. They were waiting to ambush you. Shivab, what do you do?
I'm going to all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, just start screaming, "Ah!" Like my Andorian blood decides to kick in at the worst moment, and I'm going to rush at one of them. Like I let out the war cry, like Dina style. I go in.
Antennas go down, like little horns.
Yeah,
let's have you roll weak.
All right, this is not a good idea. Yeah, my weak is +1, so
you have a point of good luck.
Oh, I do. Yeah. What does that do again? Oh, I'll roll first, I guess. Okay. Did it change? Let's see. Change 2, 3. Yes. Wow, it went higher. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9's not bad.
9 is not bad. So you will hit this first Klingon that's closest to you, but they will hit you with the disruptor. And you're going to take 2 points. Mm-hmm. You can subtract your AC from that.
Yeah. So that I took 1, right?
Yeah. So and that blaster goes up, and then you're locked up with them when we hear the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, we're like dancing awkwardly with each other.
Exactly. Trying to like shake the pull back, doing that thing. What do you do, Baxter? You don't have your phaser anymore, but Wet, like with quick thinking, you caught your phaser and used it as a distraction to change the setup.
That's
what are you going to do? What do you think, Baxter?
Oh, by the way, I'm screaming, "Bridge Bros!" I'm like attacking.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm still, I think, coming out of the Jeffries tube, and I just want to like grab the nearest guy by the ankle or something, and just trip somebody up.
Okay, yeah, I think you can kind of pop up, go low, try to hit one of them, sweep the leg. Yeah, let's have you roll weak.
So that is a 9.
That is a 9. So I think you will succeed. You hit this other Klingon in the leg, and the disruptor shot will hit you for 2 points. And you two are, you're both knocked down. Wet, you feel Gary kind of pushing.
So Wet's like, the phaser went off. I think and Gary's pushing. I think I just kind of lean off to the side, holding on to the thing, and kind of shove Gary up. And I'd like to actually assist Gary.
Okay, Gary, to get up there and get some advantage, I think this is going to be a clumsy roll,
Yeah.
but Wet is going to try and help you with this.
Okay.
So Wet, let's have you roll.
Okay. So I got 5 on the dice. And what do I roll with that? Is that relationships?
The relationship. What's your relationship with Gary?
It is a -1, so that's a 4.
Perfect. So yes, you will have advantage on this clumsy roll to get up into this melee.
Okay, that gets me a 6. My clumsy is, I think it's a +1, but let me, too many windows is what I got going.
Yes, your clumsy is a +1.
+1, thank you. Yeah, you know what? I think oh, there it is. Okay, cool. All right. I had it overlapping with the memory alpha window I had open. All right, yeah, so that gets me to a 7. I'm at 7 and 9.
So I think you'll push up, pop out, and pop up, and you're like, holy shit, there are Klingons in here. You see 2 of your people wrapped up. There are 2 more unoccupied who have disruptors out, who are ready to let loose. What do you do?
I need to look up something real quick. And I'm like, it's Stardate 41305. The war has been over for 30 years. There was a treaty. Ambassador Sarek, you got everybody calm down, please. You went through a temporal anomaly. This is all, we need to explain what's going on to you.
I will let you roll with Rude.
Okay.
To maybe get one of them to stop.
Yeah, sure.
They're Klingons.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's legit. Uh, 9 minus 1 is 8.
Okay, so I think one of them like stops, like maybe they're like, "Whoa, it was that weird thing," and then the other one shoots you for 2 points.
Okay.
You're hit by that. And there's that smell of disruptor fire. Still the fighting. Baxter is fighting this other Klingon. Shebab, you're with this Klingon. You're kind of wrestling, and you fall back onto the console. And we hear beep, boop, beep, and we hear the ship going, and we can see on the view screen we can see the planet thing down below start to tilt, like we're going down towards the planet. You can clear your bad luck now.
Ooh, there we go. Clearing it now.
And what do you do?
I scream at the helmsman. Like, sinking, falling, fast, really fast. Words hard.
I need a clear path to get there.
Yeah, and I'm blocking it. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna push the Klingon out of. I'm gonna try to like Kirk style, rah, like the eyes are a little wild.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll weak. You're in hand to hand now, so it's a little bit easier for you, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I'm an Adorian.
Yeah. That I assume he won't be able to get his disruptor on you.
So 5, but I'm looking at my 6. I'm at a 6.
6. So you will throw with your Andorian strength, throw this Klingon out of the way, and he'll, crashes over onto the engineering panel, and you clear the decks. Baxter.
Yeah, I start screaming in Shakespearean, like "Let loose the dogs of war!" Like, and crap, like just like
One
as
of them
I
says,
throw
"That's
him
not how
off.
you pronounce it." Ah!
Yeah, basically.
What do you do, Baxter?
Yeah, I'm gonna run for the ship's controls.
Okay, rush over there. I think this is going to be clumsy for you to get over there fast and get the ship stabilized before it starts to go into a terminal orbit.
That is an 8.
That is an 8. So I think, Baxter, you will definitely get this ship right, and you're like, oh yeah. And that's the point at which you feel that knife in your back.
Oh no.
And this Klingon will stab you for a point.
So I'm at 1, but I do have 1 point of good luck.
Do you want to
So I
spend your
could
good luck to
spend-
negate that?
I am going to spend my good luck to negate that.
So what is it that keeps you up or keeps you from getting hit here?
I think what keeps me up is the fact that I'm used to just like sitting in this chair, and the chairs on the bridge are not comfortable at all. And so I've got like this back pad that I wear for lumbar support, you know? And so I think they actually stab into that to give me enough time that I can kind of twist out of the way.
Knife goes into that nanogel back support thing that you've got, and like it sprays in his face, and he falls back away.
Federation trickery.
Yeah,
Foul beast.
We'll do Gary, and then we'll do Wet. Gary, what do you do?
So I got zapped by a disruptor and kind of like sat back down on my ass, and I like pull out my phaser and I crank it all the way up to wide beam stun field, and I'm just zapping everybody.
Let's have you roll clumsy.
Yeah. All right, let's see how this goes. My clumsy's at +1, so like I just want to snake eyes.
You are shitting me. Really?
Snake eyes, yeah.
You pull this up, woof! Shebab, that's the last thing you know. And then out. Wet. You hear that sound of bodies hitting the floor in there.
I think I'm petrified. I'm like,
And I turn around and I reach an arm down and I say, we've got to wake Baxter up right now.
great. So I think I start crawling up, and we see that I look over the edge.
It's like, well, I'm like grabbing you by the arm and like bodily hauling you up.
Okay.
The ship has been righted, but you can tell it's starting to do that little bit of drift down.
And I go over. Yeah, I go over and I kind of shake Baxter, which doesn't do anything.
Let's have you roll dumb.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the whole hypo spray thing. And I rolled a 6. My dumb is a -1, so that's a 5.
So at first you're like, oh my God, he's an android, because you're picking up your hands and there's all this nanogel, and then you realize he's bleeding this stuff in his back, and then you're like, oh, and then you'll hit him with the hypo spray, and you are up and awake immediately, Baxter.
And I think this hypo spray wasn't just wake up; it was kind of amphetamine.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like
you see your eyes dilate, and
Yeah. I think I immediately wake up. I'm just like, hell yeah, Z team, and just start, raising the lever, lowering the lever, doing my Flappy Bird stuff.
And I think we will cut from that scene to the four of you in Captain Dobslaw's ready room. I'm looking over the notes of your work there on the coelacanth. Our number one sensed great potential in you. Is very, very pleased. Of course, we don't have any video records of the things, and we have to go on your testimony. but it seems like you all performed admirably in this. I'm going to recommend that all of you be put on enhanced duty for a time. We'll shift you all to gamma shift. We'll give you a little more time on the helm, Ensign Baxter. And since Shivab, we've got some translation work we're going to be putting in your hands. Gari, we're going to be training you in a little bit of tactical. And Dr. Calloway wants you in the main med bay now, Ensign Wecht.
Do we have to?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, no, thank you, sir.
Well, you've managed to rescue the human survivors from the coelacanth as well as the Klingon survivors, and we are working on getting them acclimated to our time. Good work, everyone.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Well, do it and get for you to go. And
consider it done.
Yes. We'll see you step out, and the four of you have a moment to yourselves here in the sort of the end teaser of the show. It's quiet as you're standing there. Imagine you all get in the elevator, and this is the shot as the four of you. It's quiet as the door's shut. Who speaks first?
G-Team.
Oh, and I think then he says, and then like he says G-Team, and like puts his fist out, and we all got to just do a 4-person fist bump, and I think that's how that's got to end.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Probably with Wet the last to bump, I assume.
Yeah, he's like, oh crap.
Yeah, actually, like say with Shiva, I'm like, oh no, my skin is going to touch Garai's.
And that's where we're going to stop. And that is Shitty Ensigns. You guys had really good rolls. Like roll for your party, which is normally a harsh mistress. Maintain its harsh mistress, but didn't realize that you needed to roll low. So
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
gosh,
what I was
really
gonna say.
expecting to die.
Like, is this the secret game that Gauntlet players are actually amazing at because you don't have to roll good?
it was good.
I'm really tempted to make a hack of this.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. And that system works. Do you mind taking a couple minutes to do a quick stars and wishes for this? We'll go around. Jim, our resident Star Trek buff. Stars, wishes, things you want to say about this?
I mean, this was just everybody was on point. I really just I enjoyed it immensely. Thank you for putting this up, Lowell, because this is like just it's nice to do a silly little one shot every now and then. I just want to give everybody stars for having a lot of fun with it. But walking the line between being like silly and goofy and just joyous without taking the piss out of it. You know what I mean? Like one of the reasons I can have so much fun with it is because I know all the ins and outs of it and it actually means something to me. So having fun with it is its own special kind of thing. And I really appreciate just stars for everybody for taking it seriously enough to have like real genuine fun with it. That was, I deeply appreciate that.
Any wishes you want to point to? It's one shot, so we only got a little taste of it. So
yeah, we did only get a little taste of it. There was no we did not have any chance to I would love to see over time like piling up some conditions, and then because the purpose of 10 Forward is you go there and you have your little group scenes, and that is how you get rid of your conditions. That's the basically comfort or support mechanic.
The thing is, when I looked at this, I was like, "Oh, this is obviously a thing for one shots," but it's got some legs. Like I think you could do several sessions of this, and it could be very fun. Yeah.
Like I mean, this is like this feels like a web series to me. You know what I mean? Like, like a Star Trek fan thing that somebody would do. Yeah. But everybody did great. And I really enjoyed it immensely. So thank you.
Jamie, stars, wishes?
Oh yeah, this is so fun. It's really hard to play someone who is so shitty. But that was a really great challenge. And I really got attached to all the characters. I really loved all of them. It's really hard to pick a favorite, but I think Wet has to be my favorite because so many horrible things happen to Wet. And Wet handled it really well when poor Shebop was like, yeah, you did really great, Wet.
We were all shitty in our own special way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like stars for that, man. Like we each found different, unique ways to be shitty.
Yeah, it was so good. It really helped me understand the shitty people in my life. So I appreciate this game. We're all just doing our best. Anyway, I had so much fun. Lowell, I thought you did a really good job of just like bouncing with whatever we threw at you. I loved the number one. That was really they were so funny. They were really hilarious. And yeah, I think I think the only real wish I have is like I should have been keeping better track of when the good luck and the bad luck points happen. Because the game's pretty mechanical in that way. Like you roll this and you get this, you roll this, you get that, which is it's interesting because it builds momentum in this good way. I think I'm definitely going to hack this because I think this would be really hilarious as this would be a new way for me to play D&D, I think, as shitty adventurers. Yes. So I think I'm going to work on that.
Absolutely. I think that would be great. There are a lot of things I can see adapting this over for.
It's a good system. It's a fun system.
Yeah, the fun approach. Robert?
Yeah, I mean, again, like stars to everybody. Like, I mean, kind of like Jim said, it was. We were all playing shitty characters, but not so like absurd that it was, out of the realm of possibility. Like so many of these things, like a bunch of ensigns sitting around, yelling out G team, like, and doing a fist bump. I could theoretically see that happen. I could see that happening in the world of Star Trek. So that was really cool. And
yeah, like we really played all those background characters that you see, like just
right
on the camera.
Yeah, and also just the way of rolling with everything that happened, like the Klingon yelling at us to put our weapons down, and then I drop my weapon down the Jeffries tube, and then that turns into everything. I mean, yeah, so Lowell definitely stars to the way that we rolled with, the way you rolled with everything that happened there. And then wishes, actually, I just read this, but when you take wounds, you're supposed to be hindered, and I don't know if we did that. I don't know if it would have changed much, but you're supposed to take a temporary +1 to a stat when you're wounded.
There are all these little like rule things.
Yeah.
It is the thing is I think that the rules actually need a little bit of an edit because it mentions advantage and disadvantage, but then it's also sometimes giving you additional pluses and minuses.
Right.
I think doing a quick read through and getting those aligned and figured out would
and
help.
Maybe streamlining a little bit. Yeah. Because it's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
Like wishes wise, like I would love to have like 3 more weeks of this and play with these same characters. Like I think we actually built extremely like memorable and cool characters for what is supposed to be a one shot where you're playing shitty ensigns, right?
I'm gonna keep this character keeper. And sometime later this year, I will put this up on the board again, and we'll tell all of you, and we'll see if you want to return, and we'll do this again because I had a really good time. But Stephen, I'm going to give you last word here.
Yeah. So I agree with everyone. I really liked how much everyone leaned into it. Everything was great, from Baxter's bravado to how drunk Gary got. And I have to admit, I just have this headcanon that everywhere where Shivab goes, I think he's carrying around like a little plant.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah. As far as wishes, I struggled to come up with anything until I realized that one of the things I missed was when I was Googling for characters, pictures, up popped this picture of the Queen from, and it looked like she's in a Star Trek uniform. So I just put that into chat, and I was like, oh, I almost put her down as my commanding officer. I was like, oh, it was so beautiful. I wish I could have worked that in some way. It kind of would break the fiction, but I was like, oh, that's just so beautiful to see her right there.
It's a really good
That's
photo.
great. That's
It
wild.
looks fantastic.
Yeah.
She'd be an admiral, though.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point.
We'll have to remember that. Admiral Elizabeth. Thank you all very much. I'm going to stop the recording. Which I hit this button.